Thank you. I will now take some questions, starting with, I think, Hannah from the BBC. Hannah.
Thank you, Prime Minister. You've said now is the time for concrete commitments. Can you give an example of a concrete commitment that has been made this morning? How many countries have indicated they might put troops on the ground, for example? And a second, if I may, you're doing all of this work on what a peacekeeping force might look like. What if Russia simply won't accept one?
Well, let me start from the premise that a lot has happened, obviously, since we had the meeting at Lancaster House just under 2 weeks ago, particularly developments this week in relation to the position of Ukraine. And the group that met this morning is a bigger group than we had 2 weeks ago. There is a stronger collective resolve, and new commitments were put on the table this morning, both in relation to the coalition of the willing in terms of defending the deal, also in relation to the wider point, which is the collective defence and security of Europe. So more commitments on the table this morning, and an agreement that we now move to the operational phase, which is why the talks on Thursday, the military talks, will become the next focal point. There was a wider agreement this morning, which was that the yes but from Russia is not good enough, and that we agreed collective pressure will be put on Russia from all of us who are in the meeting this morning. So I'd say overall we are successfully gathering political and military momentum. I think more widely there was an appreciation this morning that a wider argument that I've been making that goes beyond just the question of Ukraine is that Europe needs to step up in its own defence and security. And so we moved forward on that front today because some of the commitments that were made were beyond simply the coalition of the willing in relation to making sure that we can defend any deal in Ukraine if one is reached, but also a step up for the collective defence and security of Europe, which is a really important part of the argument I've been making about the era that we're now in. In terms of Russia's position, I think it's really important at this point that we put maximum pressure on Russia. This yes but is not good enough, and that's why the collective resolve this morning was to put pressure, and we can collectively put pressure on Russia. There were a lot of countries represented this morning, a very strong collective resolve. And so I think we've made real progress this morning, and that momentum and that resolve by a number of countries and making sure we continue to be forward-leaning is really important. Thank you very much. I've got Harry from ITV.